Hello everybody, we're going to be doing a pear tree update, and as you can see it is leaning a lot, and the reason it is leaning is because these branches are far too heavy. So the fruit is getting nice and big now, which is why the branches are so heavy. You can see the amount of fruit that is on them. So what we're going to do today is dig some big holes with an auger and make a stand to support it, and you can see a lot of the fallen pears as well. So that's what we're going to do now, and I'll show you once I've dug the holes. This is the auger that I've been using, and it is my new all-time favourite gardening tool. It's a battery powered one, so it's fantastic. That's one I'll be using. I'll probably do a little review on it soon, but for now we're digging holes. I've already dug the first one. Look how deep it is. It's probably a foot deep, so that's 12 inches, about 30 centimetres give or take, possibly a bit bigger. I shouldn't need it any deeper than that just for this purpose, but we're going to make the other one over there, and because it is battery powered, I don't need too much help, and then hopefully we can get this from being bent over. Now I will say that I don't have steel toe cap boots, I've only got trainers, but it is quite easy to use, and I'll film using it in a second. But realistically, for safety purposes, don't do this by yourself, and do this with proper appropriate footwear on, and be mindful that it does go quite fast and it can pull you. So just be mindful, it is a piece of equipment at the end of the day, and just be careful. So now that we've got the hole dug, we're going to go and dig it out, see how deep it is, and get those big rocks out, and go from there and see how much more we need to do. So these are the kind of rocks that we've been getting. They're much bigger than this in some cases, so it's much easier to have a tool that just works through them. But you saw at the end it twisted because there was a big rock at the bottom, I assume, that stopped it moving. But we're not an industrial scale farm, so it's not that important that it does go through everything, but for home use it's perfectly fine. This is the sort of thing that we've been finding. So this is a big chunk of glass. I don't know what it's from, but this is not the sort of thing that you want to be digging through, which is why you should also wear gloves when you're digging. And we're in a new build as well, so it's not ideal that this is ground that we're working with, but oh well. But you get the idea. I'm going to dig this a little bit deeper just for the kind of matches with the other one, and then I'll show you once the supports are in, and then we can go from there. So now that we've got both holes dug, we're going to put the support sticks in, and all I'm going to do is literally stand the sticks in the ground and then fill it back up with the compost that we have collected from the holes, hopefully minus some of the rocks. From there we're going to water it and hopefully seal it in, and ideally you would use concrete, but we're not planning on living here for like forever, and so having to concrete it in posts wouldn't be ideal. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll show you the first one. There we go. That's the first one done, and we're literally going to do exactly the same with the other one. And then I'm going to get some posts and go across and then support the branches like that. But I'm going to need my mum's help for that because I've only got one set of hands. So I'll come back once that's all done. So these are the two posts together. They're not quite level. You can see one is leaning slightly, this one, so it needs to be stood up. But the plan is to get two kind of planks that go across here like this. So when they're nailed into each other, so nailed into this side, it's like screwed through here, then screw through the other side, it should hold them in place, and then we can stand this up because it is just looking atrocious. So yeah, on to the next step. To make life easier, I'm going to stand this up now and attach it to this post. So I don't want to leave the support string on forever because it's really thin and it will dig into the plant, but for now, whilst I'm going to do this, then I'll just tie it up, and then yeah, improved. Now we can see a lot more easily where these need to be, so the plan is for them to be pulled right up. So we're talking kind of up there, so the post needs to be about here so it can hold them up. I may have to do 2 to hold this one up as well, but we'll see. The important one is this one, because the top branch needs to be supported, because we can always put some string kind of hanging down to support the bottom one. So we're going to measure up and decide where it's going to go. So here I'm just measuring the distance between the 2 posts, so I know how to cut the support bars that are going to go in between. So it's 29 and just over a half inches. I don't know what that is in inches, I don't know how to read that, but so that's what it is. So that's what we're going to cut them as. So this is my cutting setup. It's not the best, and this isn't the best saw in the world, but it is what it is. So I've measured it and I'm going to cut it there. Kind of evened off the end a little bit, which is what that thing at the bottom is. So we're going to cut it and then hope it fits. So I've done some very rudimentary measuring, i.e. pulling this up, seeing where I want to be, where I want it to be, and then drawing on the post. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to drill a guide hole in here, and then I'm going to need my mum's assistance to hold it for me whilst I drill into the actual post. And the nails, or the screws we're going to use are this long. I think they're long enough. So if you kind of measure it against the post, it comes out that much more. So it's about 1 inch on the other side as well, 1.5 inches. So that's good. And this is the label. This here is the final product, and it could be better, could be much worse, and it does what I need it to do. So we've got the 2 stakes in the ground. The water is wet. The ground is wet because I've watered it just to make sure that it doesn't sink too much. As you can see, it's already cracked, so I'm likely going to have to fill this in tomorrow, which is fine. Still got some compost left to do that. And then we've got this bar across, and then you can see that kind of hook there, and that is to pull up this branch. And then we've got the long bar across again, and then we've got this hook up here which pulls up this branch, and it keeps it from rubbing on this bar, which is important because if you rub, then you get an injury, and it increases the risk of infection. And similarly, we've got one over there, but I have to be careful of those 2 pairs there. They do seem to be rubbing, so I will sort those out soon. And then we've got this one, the string holding the tree upright, and this isn't ideal because you can see that it is string, so we're going to get some leather or something just to wrap it around there, make sure it doesn't get an injury here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. The tree is standing much more straight, and then this is doing much better as well. You can see that it's still, it's not completely straight, but it is still pretty sturdy. It's not really moving around too much, so I'm quite content with it, and we'll see what happens in the next major storm that we get. But it should be fine. I'm not overly concerned about it, and I'm quite happy with how it has turned out, to be honest. And then we can see the pears growing. They're getting nice and chunky now, which is why it was so imperative for the support to be on there, ready for when they actually start to get really big and really heavy. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and hopefully we don't have any more issues with it, and we don't have to do anything else with this for now. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.